Is exclusivity coming to an end? Possibly. I mean, there's a lot of stuff floating around the internet right now with Xbox rumors to be sending PlayStation a bunch of stuff to PlayStation not losing, but like sending all their stuff to PC. A lot of rumors, some confirmed, some not. But the key thing is here that exclusivity might be finally coming to an end. And I know that might sound weird coming from two PlayStation fanboys. Well, one PlayStation fanboy, one ex-PlayStation fanboy. But now, the reason we're talking about this is because right now, the most digitally pre-ordered game on PlayStation right now is Xbox's Sea of Thieves, after they announced that Sea of Thieves was coming to Sony.
Wild.
I'm super excited because Sea of Thieves is actually a really good game. Sea of Thieves came out forever ago. It has a huge community behind it. Yeah. It has like that cartoony style, like art style. So obviously it doesn't take itself seriously, but the community behind it is great. The development support behind it is awesome. And now it's coming to PlayStation, and a lot of people are super excited. Along with that, Microsoft announced that a bunch of other games are coming to PlayStation as well, including Grounded, which is basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I know a lot of people were excited for that, though.
Yeah, I saw a lot of gameplay. It looks goofy as hell. It's like a survival game, but you're shrunk in someone's backyard. It looks like a blast. You can get into a lot of trouble with that. The other one is Pentiment. Don't know what that one is. I am showing my ignorance here. I'm sorry. Hi-Fi Rush, which was one of the biggest games last year that got shadow dropped, and we have a whole video on that right here. And then, of course, Sea of Thieves. And then on the other side, PlayStation is throwing a buttload of games onto PC, which have been... a lot of the games have not launched well. But
which is true, but they did iron out the kinks.
Yeah,
got everything going.
Usually they don't launch well, but then they fix them and they're fine. They just launch with a buttload of bugs.
Mixers should be fired, but, you know, they brought them. I mean, it's fair. Whatever. That's their company for that. Cool. Because you know what? That Last of Us 2 and that Last of Us.
Whew. Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. So the biggest thing is here, right, is how do you feel about exclusivity as a concept in general? Do you think it has any place in gaming today? And do you think the future of exclusivity is actually ending, or do you think it's still going to stick around for a while?
Fourscore! And how many ever years ago, capitalism came to our front door. And it said, hey, if you got one thing and it beats out the other thing, it's fair game. Who cares, right? This is what's been driving the gaming industry for how long? But I feel like now that we have a lot of cloud service, a lot of cross saves, a lot of things getting more expensive to buy twice, a lot of things getting more expensive to buy in the first place, I think exclusivity kind of needs to come to an end, because I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, do you want to play this game with me? Oh, well, you got a PC, I got an Xbox, and then, well, I guess we can't play together, or it's a PlayStation and a Nintendo, I guess we can't play. I'm not going to bust out $400 to play one game with my buddy, and especially if it's a really good game, and it's a really good buddy, then I'm losing out on a really good experience. So I don't want to do that anymore, and it's always been annoying. Like, yes, you have that little fun, but that's the console wars. Then you also always used to be so serious. Like, it used to be like
console wars used to be like
just fun, cool things you could say to one another, you know. And like now it's become this whole like opportunity of self. Like, you're defined by it. Like, you're sitting here roasting people online because they got a certain console or play certain games, and it's just like. I think this has got a little bit too toxic, so I think we need to kind of dial it down a bit. And like,
yeah,
I like the fact that exclusivity is ending because each side doesn't want to admit that there's games that they like to play on each side. Like, it's funny.
I mean, honestly,
like, I bet you they always talk. You know, PlayStation is always talking shit on the Xbox, but like, I bet you if Left 4 Dead came over. Left 4 Dead 1, 2, and then they made a Left 4 Dead 3 and made it multi-platform. How many people would buy it on there?
Yeah.
How many people?
Also, fuck Back for Blood. But yeah, no.
Come on, bro. Don't do that.
It's a shit game.
Don't do that.
But no, I totally agree. On the an easy answer to that is basically just crossplay, which has become like a lot more prevalent in recent years.
I think with crossplay, I think we also need cross saves as well.
Yeah, a lot of games do support cross progression, cross saves, and cross play. Like Helldivers is bringing cross progression in soon. They're working on it. They're working out the kinks for it, and anyways, so you can basically get it both on PC and PlayStation, and you'll be able to cross save that and just keep on going with your regular shit. Not have to replay the goddamn game on PC. So
exactly.
It's coming, and a lot of other games
if
they have that.
If they actually get that done, buddy, that game is going to explode. Like, and more people are going to buy it, and that's the thing. Like, if you give it an exclusivity, more people are going to buy your game.
That's the biggest thing, right? Yeah. So I had some dumb motherfucker tell me online on Facebook. I get into Facebook arguments. Okay, I can't help myself. People are stupid. I have to put them in their place. This dude told me that like exclusive games push innovation and competition in the gaming industry. And I was over here just like, there have been more innovative games, third-party games released in the last 10 years than innovative first-party games.
I mean, so he does have a point, but when you get to a point where like it gets too expensive to compete, then people are cutting corners. That's where that kind of mindset gets damaging, because now you're cutting corners.
I mean, yeah, sure. No,
you gotta prioritize, and now you have all these gaming layoffs where like now these companies can't keep all these people around because they spent too much money doing this, that, and the third. So
I agree with that, but like the thing is like
invalid. His point is invalid.
Yeah, exclusivity by itself does not push innovation alone, right? Like, yes, I'm within the ecosphere of that exclusive, it can push innovation for sure, because you have like one studio doing one thing, and you're like, oh shit, that's really cool. Let's see how we can make it better in this game. But like outside of that, like one of the most innovative games that we've had, like Baldur's Gate, extremely innovative with how they made their game.
Yeah.
Third-party game. Alan Wake 2. Extremely innovative with how they did their storytelling and their artwork and their world building. Holy shit. Third-party game. Third-party game. Then you had No Man's Sky that literally broke the world with how they did procedural generation. Third-party game. Like, and then you look at like the only, in my opinion, one of the only innovative games that we've really gotten in recent years from PlayStation was God of War, in the way that that game was cinematographically shot, right? Where it was one continuous shot. That has never been done before in gaming, and that was super, super cool. But that was it. Like Spider-Man, like they took the combat and made it better from Batman. They made the swinging the best it's ever been, but that's not entirely innovative. Everything else in the game, like there wasn't really a whole lot of innovation in the Spider-Man games. They're amazing games. They're super fun, but haven't been a.
It was just more of a concept with a Spider-Man twist on it.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the biggest thing. No, I mean, I think you're right. I think at the end of the day, like, what's gonna push innovation is gonna be like genuine artistic passion and creation.
Exactly.
To, like, outdo, and it's not even outdoing other people. It's just outdoing yourself. Like, how can I get better? How can I become? Because I do make music myself, and like you get to a point where you're just like, you're not even competing against other people. You don't care about what other people do. You want to hone your craft and get better at your craft to make sure you can produce a good enough product in order to put out to the world. So we kind of go with that. And then I forget which PlayStation. There was a old ex-PlayStation boss that said this in an article, and he was just like, look, there's going to be, something's got to give. You can't keep making these grandiose games.
Yeah.
Producing a lot of return. You're either going to have to downscale the product, the graphics, the downscale, how big. I don't need to play a game for 140 hours, bro. Like, I don't need to.
As you're looking forward to playing Dragon Dogma 2.
Yeah, that's an exception, but I don't need every game to be like.
Not every game needs to be that crazy big.
Yeah, because then I don't have time for anything else.
About that right here, by the way. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And honestly, like a lot of that innovation, a lot of the devs that have been pushing the envelope on innovation have been indie devs. Like a lot of them have been pushing what can be done in games. I mean, we just got that game Pacific Drive, which is one of the first of its kind games where with the car mechanic and the real world mechanic and the resources and everything. I haven't seen the game quite like that in a very long time, if ever, if I like memory serves.
And a lot of people think, and I am included, that if there is a AAA gaming crash, that I mean, indies and double A's are really going to save the industry.
Oh, 100%. We talked about that before.
Yeah, I mean, but then you always have that fear, right? Where it's just like, all right, well, if indies and double A's get bigger, they just become the enemy of what they become what they hated,
basically.
So that's why it's a triple threat, where it's just like, I don't know if I want a gaming crash for AAA games, or I don't know if I just want,
or if that's just what we need.
I just want AAA games to keep coasting, because I've been having so much fun picking up these indie games and these double A's from Steam, and I've been, I'll try and send you guys some of the stuff, and
oh no, I know, dude. It's like we see a lot of these like AAA games, and we just talked about this last week, where a lot of those games have just been, rehashing the same franchises for years now, and they haven't really given us anything new. So it's like, okay, and then if I want something new, I'm going to go to these indie devs that are dropping original ass ideas left and right.
And then it's funny because I remember I read an article. It's like every generation you get less and less original IPs, and you get more continuations. Yeah. Like PS2 had so many original IPs that birthed on there, and then PS3 was just, hey, here's the sequel. Hey, here's the sequel. And then PS4 was just more of the same. And we're like,
PS4 started getting more original IPs or continuations of IPs, but then it's like it goes by generation. Like PS2 started a bunch of franchises, PS3 continued them, PS4 started a bunch of new ones, PS5 is continuing them, so the PS6 is going to start a bunch of new franchises again. That's going to go like that.
That's a very interesting prediction, because hopefully that's the case. But I don't know. Sony has been stuck in their ways.
Yeah, they have.
I feel like they're gonna, when PS6 comes, they're gonna try and promote more of their PS. What is their new handheld? The PS.
Oh, the Portal thing. Yeah.
They're gonna try and promote that. Maybe even release a Portal 2, release a VR 3. Yeah. And I think they've kind of lost focus, to be honest.
Like, so here's my thing. Like with exclusivity, just focusing on exclusivity. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving more people access to play your game. That can only ever be a good thing. Like you can still have, like the PlayStation Studio stuff, the Xbox Studio stuff, and you can still have all that advertisement for PlayStation, and you can still do the whole thing where they say like, oh, plays best on PlayStation, right? Whatever. And then still release it everywhere else. It will not hurt anything. Like there was a time where exclusives were designed to sell consoles.
Right.
But that time has passed. Like, consoles don't rely really on exclusives anymore. I think PlayStation kind of feels like they do because they don't have as much other shit that, gives you a reason to buy PlayStation like they do with Xbox. And the thing is, the thing with Xbox is they had been lagging behind in console sales for years. They've never really, cracked. Like the PlayStation 5 sold almost double what the Xbox Series X did, even though Xbox has Game Pass, which literally is the point to buy an Xbox.
I mean, it is, but it's also not like the end all be all, because at the end of the day, like Xbox 360 did fucking numbers,
Oh yeah, the 360 did, but ever since the they kind of peaked at the 360. Now their other services have gotten better, but their console sales they kind of peaked at the 360. They haven't really done as good. They haven't really gotten to close.
Yeah, but you can also say the same thing about Sony though, because like
Sony's been making numbers with their sales. It's kind of nuts.
But Sony has never had as much of a legendary status as PS2. Like, there's nothing that's going to beat that era of PlayStation. And you will ask any gamer that has lived through every era of PlayStation, they will say PS2 is the best. Nothing.
Oh, no. I totally agree there. In terms of eras, yeah, no, 100%.
So, like, Sony peaked at the PS2. They're still doing well, but they're not doing as well as they could be with
Oh,
PS2
sure. No,
numbers.
I get what you mean. I get what you
And
mean.
and they're even. Why do you think Days Gone didn't get a sequel? Why do you think all these other games have been reported as losses, even though they sold millions of dollars? Because they're getting to that point where like you're going to have to make a choice. You're either going to have to scale down the games or scale down the price. Because either what. This isn't going to keep where you're not going to charge me $80 for a game and have it come out looking fraudulent, have it come out looking half done, have it come out looking not like you're. I need a DLC day one just because of a game that like.
Yeah.
I mean
that is a thing in and of itself. That's just the standard now, and that's just with the rise of more tech and more things that can go wrong in general.
So
but
at
anyways,
this point, at this point, all companies are getting rid of exclusivity except for Nintendo because Nintendo knows if they get rid of that shit, that's their audience. They're gone. They're done.
Because
They're going to buy
even
Microsoft.
Even Microsoft is adding the same 4 games that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. They're adding them to Switch. So Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, and Sea of Thieves all going to Switch. But yeah, Nintendo's never going to do that just because there would be zero reason to ever buy a Switch.
Ever. And they
because
know that.
Nintendo truly relies on their exclusive titles to sell their consoles. That's it. PlayStation, not so much. A lot of people just like PlayStation because, it runs really well. Yeah, I mean, it's PlayStation, and people like Xbox for that same reason. So it's like, okay. But I honestly don't think that, with PlayStation sending more console exclusives to PC and possibly even to Xbox at some point, I don't believe that would hurt PlayStation's system sales at all. I think it would actually maybe even boost them. But
here's the thing, because you're always going to have those. Despite trying to dispel the fanboy war, it's always going to be there.
Oh, no, of course. It'll always be there. I get that.
They talked about Nintendo much because they're fucking ass. So.
Because there's no point in talking about Nintendo. There's zero point in talking about Nintendo because they will never, ever change. Anyways, guys, what do you think about exclusivity as a concept in general? Do you think it still has a place in today's gaming ecosphere? Do you think that it's time for it to come to an end and just open gaming up to everyone? Let us know all your thoughts in the comment section below. We love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video.
If you think that we should not open up exclusivity, you're a bigot, and I don't like you.
Typically, it's me shitting on the viewers. This time it's him.
I don't care. I really don't care. If you feel that way, you feel that way. That's
guys, thank you so much for watching. We always appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with our dives. Thank you. We appreciate y'all, guys. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell so you get notified whenever those videos go live. We always appreciate you guys. Tune in here every single Friday. Head over to Spotify for our podcast, Sidetracked by SideQuests. Thank you so much for watching. Stay excellent. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.